honor isn't convenient. It's not, I'm honorable when it's easy. Honor comes when it's not easy. That's your definition. That's the test. That's what defines you, is when you have the choice to not be honorable and it would appear that you'll get something and life may be easier. And if you choose honor and you choose a harder path, well, you know which you really are. And that's what that is all day. It's a test all day. There's always these shortcuts.
Who's giving you some of the best advice?
I still advice. You ain't even got to tell me. I steal it. Whether you said it in the interview,
right?
Or you just done some bullshit that I could peep game in your demonstration. You know, I pay attention. I'm a student of success.
Why in school they don't teach you how to love?
Right.
You know what the most important thing is? To keep yourself healthy. That's the most important thing. So why they don't teach you how to fucking farm? Why they don't teach you what nutrients
Agriculture.
are?
Yeah.
Like, that's the shit you need to learn.
Right.
And now moving forward, what you need to learn is code. You need to learn how to edit. You need to learn how to market, because it's a new day.
Right.
So why would I pay so much for old people that haven't done shit that I want to do to teach my kids how to fucking be in debt? That shit doesn't make any logical sense to me.
Right.
We're going to get programming that makes people think different. We want to be disruptive. We want to teach.
You know, so you have to be successful at something. That's why it always worries me in education. It's like these teachers are scared. They don't make their own dreams come true. They have a job. How can they teach anything but that? They're teaching control and fear because that's all they know. How you going to teach a student how to be rich and you just was never rich? How you going to teach them to be strong and fight and you don't?
And I visualize exactly what I want. So I'm there. I'm in my future. And then I think about every single thing I need to do to make that happen and every single thing that could stop that from happening or what I need to avoid. Then I go right back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was just in the future thinking about watching myself on my television network. So because I do that, that means I have to think what would be the worst case scenario. And then I have to think what would be the best case scenario. And then I eliminate every single thing that I think could happen, which I call art detecting. And then I put everything and every single attitude and person around me in my vision that's going to make me get to what I want. And also, I try to get the people around me to think about the same exact vision. So you can inspire people and all that energy is focused on one thing that they can visualize in their head, then it becomes a tangible reality. And I know that to be a fact because it's happened. It's a fact for me. So I continue to do that. I know that anything I can imagine, I can make happen. So I am really careful about how small my thoughts are, because I don't feel like wasting time in a 24-hour day making this much. And I could spend the same amount of time with the same amount of energy if I art detect it right and had this much. And with this much, I can help so many more people that I love. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how I look at all perspectives. It's the only way to prepare yourself. It's like when when you box, you look at tape, so you see where that person punches. So that's one perspective. You look at it from another. You might want to fight from a left, from right. You might want to fight from southpaw. It's just studying. And the more you're prepared, the easier your time is. What I tell my staff and everyone that works with me is, the more you care, the more you prepare. Period.
Pain grows you up fast. And the way you deal with pain dictates your future. It's a gift and a curse. Becoming independent early sometimes is the best thing that can ever happen to you. It's funny how pain is the thing that is like the one thing that teaches people if they're smart enough to learn from it. And the trick is to try to learn and appreciate things without pain. Because if you appreciate things when you're in pain, you can't enjoy it. So that's why I learned really early, the only thing I'm going to be crying about is somebody dying. Other than that, don't stress me with nothing or jail. Other than that, it's fun all day. Because I can't control dying. People going to die, that shit is guaranteed. But in between that time, I'm partying every second, in between the tragedies. So when the tragedies that I can't control happen, at least I got a life to look forward to. Now, you got a miserable life and some miserable shit happens, you don't have nothing to look forward to. You fucked. Tragedy is part of the game. Enjoying life means everything. You're going to feel pain. It's going to come with it. Ain't nothing in this world perfect. That's a lot.
The only way to survive was honor. And what I witnessed, I admired. I admired the strength and honor. Be honorable and you'll get this. And it happened for him, it happened for me, and all the other people that have lived honorably. So there's truth in believing in honor, and I can say it by experience. And I also can see the lack of honor, the things that I came up on that are so different, that how much people look the other way, how many people actually fail that test, and the recourse of that. You had to be honorable. And I saw the things that the honor, the respect that came with it, the strength that came with it, and how cool it looked. I just didn't want to be anything but that, no matter what.
See, a lot of people are scared to think. That's what I noticed. Thinking, I'd be like, yo, just think it through. People get very uncomfortable when I ask them to think.
Most of my arguments don't come from me pushing somebody physically. It's from me pushing them to think. It's harder to run a fucking mile than to think. So why is it less scarier to work out than to just think? Why are people so scared of the unknown? Just because you don't know an answer. Like, Google was so foreign to me up to a couple of years ago, as surprising as that may seem. But Raquel, who's wifey for life, he remembers the moment that I was like, holy shit, I could find out everything all this time. You know, and all I would have had to do was look, and I would have seen how easy it was. But because it was unknown in the moment, I thought it was complicated. How many times do you get a remote control, it does 3 million things, but just because you don't know how, you can't figure it out, you're like, fuck all those other things. Even though if you look at it, it will make life a bit easier.
Everyone actually digests and understand things in different ways just based on where you're from and how you was raised. So you have to make sure when you communicate to someone that they really understand what you're saying.
Right.
So someone might speak in video games, so I'm going to talk to you in video games. If someone talks in selling drugs, I start to equate things in selling drugs. If you talk in sports, I'm going to equate things in sports. Don't dream cheap because they don't cost $1. You got to dream big. Why would you dream small? Pause. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you have the perfect, best case scenario? And it has to be a selfish dream because you can't help nobody unless you can help yourself. Period. Unless you're 100, you can't help someone else be 100. And, you know, if can't have a yacht, then I'm not going on a cruise. I just won't be on a boat till I can get that yacht.
Right.
I just have an expectation in myself. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if I can't afford no gold, then I'm just not wearing jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to grind till I can. Once you find what you love and you know what your dream is, you just have to make that shit come true. But what I find is a lot of people just don't dream. No one has a dream. They were like, yo, you wonder why you ain't got nothing. You didn't dream about nothing. How the fuck you going to, what is this going to come to you? A dream's going to smack you in the face? You have to know what you're fighting for every day.
I just don't see the reason for being mad about making mistakes. Like, I don't know, man. I think I got yelled at one time when I was 4, and I felt embarrassed, and I didn't like that feeling. I figured out how to never be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Teach me how.
You just don't give a fuck. Once you don't give a fuck what people think, like, logically speaking, why would you care about what someone's opinion is that you don't love, that doesn't love you, that's not even playing the same game you're playing? That's only, the only reason why they have something to say is because they're insecure. Like, I don't see why I would be concerned about some insecure asshole. Like, I think 1 million lames combined cannot equal one cool person. And meaning someone that's just honest about who they are. Like, it's not relatable, it's not realistic to think that anyone is perfect and anyone that is evil, because it's just not true. You know what I'm saying? And the good thing about imperfections is what makes you cool is how you deal with them. That's what makes you cool. You know what I'm saying? So I've never been afraid to be wrong.
The way I act is the way the people that look up to me or are influenced by me are going to act. So they'd be like, yo, you folded, so I could fold. Nah, I didn't fold. Act accordingly. I can tell you how to act because I've been there. You know what I mean? So you can't ever expect somebody to be strong if you ain't acting strong. You can't have any expectation of anyone doing anything that you are not yourself doing. or leading by example to do. That's why when people be like, yo, I'm teaching people how to be rich, I'll be like, are you rich?
The unhappy life that comes with the perception of being happy, of looking like you have more than you do, or that you're smarter, tougher, richer, funnier, or anything that you pretend you are and you're not. Because it tortures that person. They all look for an escape, whether it's a drug or any kind of addiction, to just not face and look in the mirror. I don't know.
I love that. Dan, thank you so much, man.
Take your time. We're here to live. We're here to learn. You know, we're not here to be perfect. We're supposed to embrace all our imperfections. And I think if we find and can imagine the bright side in anything, that will become a reality. But you can't think anything's going to be given to you other than opportunity. And the only way to show appreciation for opportunity is to react, not to say thank you, but to actually do something. And not everyone gets opportunities. So I think appreciating those opportunities is really important, because the next time those opportunities will not be presented. And I think every single day for everybody, there's a lesson, there's a test. And if you don't pass the test, you do not move forward. You stay in the same place. And then that test becomes a little harder. And if you don't pass it again, you actually go backwards. And then instead of the test being in front of you, where you could look at the test, it's in back of you. And it's smacking the shit out of you in the back of your head. And it hurts. And it's embarrassing. So I always advise people to look out for those tests. Not the ones when people are looking, just when no one's looking.